Welcome back to Money Monday. You're watching Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV. We're coming to you from Midtown Manhattan, high atop Bryant Park here, right on Fifth Avenue, from the Newsmax headquarters. And of course, we're in the Question Tequila Studios, as we are every day, Monday to Friday, noon to 2 Eastern, talking about your daily dose of politics, markets, and even cryptocurrencies every so often. This is where the purple people hang out. Frank and I, my co-host, are both independents, and every day we bring on Republicans, Democrats, talk about the topics of the day. No matter what happens, we have thoughtful conversation for the practical purple people. And we also find sometimes that reds and blues agree on things, which is amazing. Joining us today in the second hour is David Grosso. He's the host of Bold Business, seen on Bold TV, and you can catch it on the whole cable cutter world. You guys are seen now on Fire Stick, Amazon. Give us the whole rundown about Bold.
So we live everywhere where the cord cutters live. So that's Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, Facebook, Twitter. I also have a syndication agreement with C-Suite TV, so we appear in elevators, airports, all over the place.
There's some good stuff on in elevators.
This is fantastic.
Sometimes I never want to get to my floor.
What
just keep
about
watching
those cardboard colonies that you see popping up in L.A. and San Francisco? Are those cord cutter?
I think they're cord cutters, but not out of necessity, right?
No, exactly. Kind of economically forced. But we were just talking a little earlier about how, I think the left is trying to talk us into a recession, or at least talk voters into thinking there is a recession. Some 72% of economists polled, say that we're heading towards a recession. What are you guys talking about on Bold Business?
So, here's the thing. Recessions are notoriously difficult to predict. And last time we had the Great Recession, we didn't know we were in a recession for over a year. Okay? By the time the election came on, they were like, oh yeah, remember last year, 2007? Yeah, there's been a recession since December 2007. And we're 9 months into it. So here's the thing. Economic expansions don't die of old age. This is the longest uninterrupted economic expansion in U.S. history. Does that mean it's going to end tomorrow? No one really knows. Of course, the administration is going to fight back on the narrative that a recession is coming. There are a few signs that the economy may be slowing down, but it doesn't definitively mean that a recession is definitely coming.
One of the things that caused a lot of panic just a few days ago was the inverted yield curve.
Of course.
Everyone pointed out, this always comes before a recession.
Nobody at home even knows, most people don't even know what that means.
Right, so it's really easy to explain. All it means is that, when you go to buy government bonds, they're going to pay you higher interest rates typically to borrow for 10 years instead of 3 months. Well, today that's inverted, right?
No, I know, and Frank knows, and I think even our audience at home knows.
So my question was going to be, before I got tobaccoed, is an inverted yield curve always an indication that there will be a recession? I understand that it always comes before a recession, but does that mean that a recession will always come?
So here's where it gets interesting. The lady who lost her job, Janet Yellen, the former Federal Reserve chairwoman, says that the yield curve may not be an accurate indicator this time because of all the monetary easing that is occurring.
Thank you. I love Bold Business even more now.
So it's not exactly a sure thing that it is going to occur. There are other indicators, because we know we have this, everyone has their own secret sauce to predict recessions. The latest one is RV sales are down 20%.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Last week, 2 weeks ago, we had on Danielle DiMartino booth, and we were talking about this whole yield curve. And I'm not tobaccoing you. I'm saying, we keep hearing yield curve, and people are like, I don't care about that. Tell me what's really happening.
Okay, so let's talk about the real
I just want to tell you this. Where it may have been an indicator before, foreshadowed some coming recessions, as Janet Yellen said, me and you agree on something. There's never been a time in history where we had interest rates to zero and negative interest rates, and there's no way to measure that behavior versus the yield curve performance now. So we're in uncharted territory. I don't know if the yield curve means anything anymore.
So we talk about a lot of the negatives. Let's talk about the positives,
yes.
Right? Unemployment is at historic lows, right? Labor participation rates have dramatically improved since the Great Recession. There are a lot of good signs in this economy, including consumer confidence is very high. Notwithstanding, it's the economy. This can all be derailed by some sort of psychological crisis, but that is yet to occur.
Is the psychological crisis morning joke and Don Lemon and all these left-wingers telling us we're going into a recession?
So since you bring that up, 72% of economists polled believe that we'll see a recession within the next year or two. Do you think 72% of economists are out to lunch?
No, I think we're about due for a recession. I agree with it. Here's the big tell for the administration. Is it going to happen before the elections, or is it going to happen after? And hopefully for them, it happens after.
Maybe we're in it right now. Like you said in 2008, you said in 2008 we didn't know.
Unlikely this time. So most economists agree that it is highly unlikely that we are currently in a recession.
So we're not in it. This reminds me, I don't know if you guys saw this weekend, but a woman went to the hospital with stomach pains, and all of a sudden she popped out triplets. So this could be like the 2008 economy. It didn't know it was pregnant for 9 months. Then all of a sudden we're in a recession and we have triplets. Could that be
Mr.
happening?
Tobacco, it's highly unusual for unemployment to be this low and consumer confidence to be this high and to be in the middle of a recession. But that doesn't mean we can't be in a recession in 3 months, in 6 months, or close to that auspicious date in 2020. So a lot can change between now and the election.
Over 70% of public companies reporting earnings reported growth in the last quarter's earnings reports. So that would kind of debunk us being in something when people.
But we live in that world of not good enough, don't we?
Yeah, no.
We do. Like even when
do.
there's earnings growth, investors are like, hey, I expected more. So the stock market goes down.
You've talked about people who cut the cord. A lot of people are blaming millennials for killing cable. A lot of people are blaming millennials for everything from the forthcoming death of the credit card to, the demise of divorce. Talk to me about how the role millennials are playing in this economy. I know you're something of an expert in that. What's different about this economy for millennials as opposed to baby boomers, Gen Xers, and the rest?
Well, let me make it very clear that baby boomers killed a lot of stuff too. Every generation kills stuff and, wants an economy that revolves around them. We are now.
But the baby boomers didn't kill American cheese. That's squarely on the millennials.
Well, let me tell you, what happens is that we are now the majority in the workplace. We are not the majority of voters yet. We are not the majority of the financial power in this country, but we are the majority of people in the workplace.
You killed soda.
Yes, we are. Thank you. I agree
you're a
with
millennial
you.
too,
Yeah, well, I'm in the majority of the workplace. I'm identifying as a millennial
There
today.
you go.
Here we go with identifying.
No,
as
I'm
whatever you want,
identifying
John.
as a millennial today.
Well, anyway, I guess.
Regardless of what you think.
According to most demographic indicators, I happen to be a millennial, but of course that's all made up.
Exactly.
Okay? There is
All
no
right.
official definition, so we'll take you, John, as long as you're at it.
You'll take me in with you.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm
so
So,
joining the
so what's
millennials.
different for millennials in this economy?
We grew up with technology, so we view things differently. We don't want the big houses. We don't want the conspicuous consumption like past generations, and that means we kill a lot of stuff. We're also discussing different things about diet than past generations. We don't happen to think that dairy is very healthy. And it isn't very healthy if you look into the research.
Well,
so
we
of
need
course we're
milk
killing
cartons.
cheese. And I happen to like cheese, but I try not to eat it all the
So
time.
for those of us that want to,
So you're going to have a Impossible Beyond Burger with avocado cheese.
I'll tell you what one of the biggest researchers in the Netherlands said about developing the Impossible Burger. He's been working on it for years, and he still says there's nothing like a real hamburger, and I agree with him. So I need real beef. Maybe a lot of millennials don't feel that way.
We need David Grosso back more for his unique insights on what's happening with our economy and millennials. We'll be back on Liquid Lunch right after this.